Hey everyone! Today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. It was supposed to be the happiest day of Rajiv Mehta's life. A wedding in Toronto, a union of two loving families. Guests arrived in colorful attire, cameras flashed, and everyone celebrated, unaware that behind the smiles, a storm was brewing. Rajiv had met Anika Sharma through family connections. Charming, educated, and seemingly perfect, Anika had won over everyone. But beneath her polished image, a dangerous secret simmered. Her prestigious degree, her claimed ticket to respect and status, was entirely fake. And no one, not even Rajiv, suspected the lengths she would go to protect her lie. On the morning of the wedding, a routine verification check by Rajiv's family uncovered the shocking truth. Anika's degree didn't exist. Confronted by the families, Anika's composure snapped. Words were exchanged, tempers flared, and in a moment of panic, a hidden weapon was produced. Screams echoed through the wedding hall. Chaos erupted. What was meant to be a day of joy had transformed into a scene of terror. Authorities arrived to find a scene that no one could have anticipated. But as investigators dug deeper, they discovered a web of deception, fraudulent financial accounts, suspicious insurance policies, and evidence that Anika had been manipulating Rajiv and his family for personal gain. A picture of greed, betrayal, and dangerous double lives began to emerge. But this was only the beginning. Police were uncovering evidence that hinted at an even darker side to Anika's life, a secret that could change everything they thought they knew about the case, what was hidden in her past, and would explain the deadly chaos that erupted on her wedding day. In the hours after the chaos at the Toronto wedding hall, detectives were piecing together a disturbing puzzle. The fake degree was only the first crack in Anika Sharma's carefully crafted facade. What they were about to discover would expose a lifetime of deceit and possibly a premeditated plan for something far worse. Investigators traced Anika's history back to India, where records revealed she had never attended the prestigious university she claimed. Instead, she'd been part of an underground network selling counterfeit degrees to immigrants looking for jobs abroad. But Anika wasn't just a customer. She was a recruiter, earning commissions for every fake degree she helped sell. And Rajiv? He wasn't her first victim. Court documents in India detailed two previous engagements, both mysteriously broken off after the groom's families accused her of lying about her education and finances. In both cases, she had walked away with expensive gifts, cash, and jewelry, amounting to thousands of dollars. But this time, she had set her sights much higher. Detectives discovered that just months before the wedding, Anika had convinced Rajiv to take out a life insurance policy worth over $500,000, with herself listed as the sole beneficiary. The policy had an unusual clause. It would still pay out even if Rajiv died within the first year of marriage. When you combine a fake identity, multiple past frauds, and a life insurance policy that benefits only one person, it's a classic setup for financial crime, possibly even murder for profit. The fake degree was no longer the main focus. Investigators began asking the real question. Was the wedding itself a scam? And if Rajiv had gone through with the marriage, would he have even lived to see their first anniversary? Then, detectives received a phone call from a man in Vancouver who claimed to know Anika personally. His message was brief, his voice trembling. She's done this before, but last time, the groom didn't survive. The investigation into Anika Sharma's wedding day deception had already revealed shocking lies, past scams, and a suspicious life insurance policy. But detectives were about to uncover a connection far more sinister, one that would make the Canadian authorities wonder if they were dealing with a cold-blooded killer. Detectives began comparing Anika's past engagements and the mysterious deaths and disappearances surrounding her former fiancés. One name kept appearing: Ravi Desai, an affluent businessman in Mumbai. Just a month after discovering Anika's deception, Ravi had died in what police originally called a tragic accident. But new evidence suggested foul play, anomalies in his insurance claims, and unexplained delays in reporting his death. The tip from Vancouver suddenly made sense. Anika had traveled extensively before her Canadian wedding, carefully targeting men with wealth, influence, or large insurance policies. Witnesses recalled seeing her charm multiple families simultaneously, presenting herself as the ideal bride. But beneath the smiles, she had a calculated pattern: financial gain, manipulation, and possibly murder. Rajiv Mehta had no idea he was stepping into the path of a woman with a history of deception. Anika had meticulously orchestrated the wedding to appear genuine. Gifts exchanged, relatives impressed, the degree validated. Every detail was a part of her facade. But when the verification check exposed her lies, the carefully constructed world collapsed, revealing the danger lurking beneath the wedding gowns and smiling selfies. Inside Anika's rented apartment, police found journals, financial records, and even encrypted files hinting at her next target. The notes revealed precise calculations: which men to approach, how to manipulate families, and how to benefit financially from life insurance policies. Detectives realized this was not a crime of passion. This was premeditated and chillingly methodical. Then, the unthinkable happened. Just as police were preparing to issue an arrest warrant, Anika vanished. No forwarding address, no travel record, only a single cryptic message left on her computer: "They will never see me coming." Anika Sharma had vanished without a trace. The bride who had deceived families, faked degrees, and possibly orchestrated deadly schemes was now Canada's most wanted. Authorities scrambled, realizing they were not just investigating a fraud. They were chasing a predator. Rajiv Mehta and his family were left reeling. Friends, relatives, and law enforcement struggled to comprehend the scope of Anika's lies. How could someone so charming hide a trail of deceit so meticulously? And more importantly, what would she do next? Detectives combed through phone records, emails, and social media, trying to trace her movements. Each digital lead revealed only fragments of her life: encrypted messages, sudden financial transfers, and online activity under multiple aliases. Anika had mastered the art of disappearing while leaving chaos in her wake. Then came the warning from a Canadian banking officer. A man named Samir Kapoor, a wealthy entrepreneur in Vancouver, had been corresponding with a woman matching Anika's description. Transactions in his accounts mirrored the same patterns investigators had seen before: gifts, deposits, and sudden insurance inquiries. It appeared Anika was preparing her next act, and time was running out for authorities to stop her. Through interviews and CCTV footage, a chilling portrait emerged. Anika would target men who trusted her, often under the guise of love or marriage, then manipulate financial and legal instruments for her own gain. And if they resisted, well, the line between fraud and danger blurred alarmingly. With leads now spanning Canada and India, authorities issued alerts at airports, train stations, and even online forums. But Anika was always one step ahead. Then came a shocking discovery. She had booked a flight, one that could take her out of Canada forever. The question now was terrifying. Would law enforcement catch her before another life was put at risk? The hunt for Anika Sharma had gone global. With ties to fraud, insurance scams, and suspicious deaths, she was now at the top of an international watch list. But despite the alerts and airport security checks, she always seemed to vanish seconds before law enforcement arrived. Canadian detectives teamed up with Indian authorities and Interpol, piecing together her escape route. In 1 week, Anika had used 3 different identities, 2 forged passports, and a network of shadowy contacts who seemed willing to risk everything to keep her hidden. Meanwhile, investigators in Vancouver raced to warn Samir Kapoor, the wealthy entrepreneur they believed was Anika's next victim. By the time they reached his home, Anika was gone, but chilling clues were left behind. A half-packed suitcase in the guest bedroom, receipts for expensive jewelry purchased under Samir's name, and a copy of his insurance policy with notes scribbled in Anika's handwriting. Evidence soon revealed Anika had slipped into the United States using an alias. Security cameras in Seattle captured her boarding a bus headed south. Her next move? Unknown, but investigators feared she was already lining up her next target, possibly a wealthy widower she had met online months before the wedding scandal exploded. Anika exhibits traits consistent with psychopathy, calculated manipulation, a complete lack of empathy, and a pattern of exploiting emotional connections for financial gain. She's not just running from the law, she's hunting. Then, in a stunning twist, a hotel manager in Los Angeles contacted police with a tip. A woman matching Anika's description had just checked in under a new name. But when authorities stormed the room, it was empty. On the bed lay a wedding veil and a single wedding invitation addressed to a man they'd never heard of before. Anika Sharma, the bride who had deceived families, faked degrees, and left a trail of chaos across continents, was now within reach. Authorities had tracked her to Los Angeles, but capturing her would prove more difficult than anyone imagined. Canadian detectives, Interpol agents, and local law enforcement coordinated a sting operation. They monitored hotels, airports, and private residences, hoping to intercept her before she could strike again. Every lead pointed to one thing. Anika was planning her next target, another wealthy man who could fund her lifestyle and cover her next scams. Late one night, surveillance cameras captured her leaving a luxury hotel in downtown Los Angeles. A high-speed pursuit began through city streets. Authorities closed in, but Anika seemed always a step ahead, slipping through alleys, switching vehicles, and disappearing into the night. When police finally secured her last known hideout, they found evidence that sent shockwaves through the investigation. Hidden in a suitcase were passports from 4 countries, forged bank documents, multiple life insurance policies, and a detailed list of her past victims, along with cryptic notes about her next plans. The evidence suggested her schemes were not only financial, they were personal, meticulously targeted, and potentially deadly. Anika exhibits extreme manipulative behavior and a complete disregard for human life. This isn't just a criminal pattern. It's a psychological blueprint. She plans, she observes, and she executes with precision. The danger she poses escalates with each move. Then came the most chilling discovery of all. Among her belongings was a sealed envelope addressed to Rajiv Mehta's family. Inside were photographs of Rajiv, his family, and an unknown figure who appeared to be following them. The note simply read, "You thought it was over, but it's only just begun." For years, Anika Sharma had eluded justice, scamming families, faking degrees, and leaving a trail of ruined lives across borders. Now, with chilling threats sent directly to her first groom's family, the case had taken an even darker turn. Authorities knew this was no longer just about fraud, it was about survival. Rajiv Mehta, still reeling from the chaos of his aborted wedding, was placed under police protection. But despite security, strange occurrences began. Unfamiliar cars parked near his home, mysterious calls in the middle of the night, and a bouquet of wedding flowers left at his doorstep with no note. Working with Interpol, investigators used the evidence from Anika's seized belongings to track her network. A breakthrough came when a forged passport bearing her alias was flagged at the U.S.-Mexico border. Mexican authorities confirmed she had entered under the name Priya Desai and was staying in an upscale resort under yet another stolen identity. A covert operation was launched. Posing as wealthy businessmen, undercover agents lured Anika into a meeting, promising a lucrative marriage arrangement. The goal was simple: get her to trust them, then move in for the arrest. But with Anika, nothing was simple. At the resort's rooftop lounge, Anika arrived in a designer dress, smiling as if she had nothing to fear. The agents kept her talking, buying time for backup to move in. But moments before the takedown, Anika excused herself to powder her nose and never came back. Security footage later showed her climbing down the side of the building and slipping into the crowded streets below. Her ability to sense danger and vanish without warning is what has made her so elusive. She thrives on control, and the moment she feels it slipping, she disappears. That's her survival instinct. 3 days later, Rajiv's family received another envelope. Inside was a single photograph. Anika, standing on a crowded street somewhere in the world, smiling directly at the camera. On the back, she had written, "You can chase me forever, but you'll never catch me." For nearly 3 years, Anika Sharma, Canada's most wanted bride, had been a ghost. Authorities chased her across continents, following a trail of deception, betrayal, and death. But her latest taunt to Rajiv Mehta's family suggested one thing: she wasn't finished. Then, a break in the case. A call came from an anonymous tipster in Thailand. He claimed Anika had been working at a luxury spa under yet another alias. The spa catered to high-profile businessmen, exactly the kind of clientele she had exploited before. This time, authorities knew they had one shot, and they couldn't afford to miss. Two female agents pose as wealthy clients seeking investment advice. Over several visits, they built rapport with Anika, who bragged about exclusive marriage opportunities and hinted at lucrative financial schemes. She didn't know she was being recorded the entire time. On the day she agreed to meet for a private dinner to discuss details, local police and Interpol surrounded the spa. There was no rooftop escape, no back alley getaway. For the first time in years, Anika Sharma was in handcuffs. Her trial was a media circus. Prosecutors laid out years of fraud, multiple aliases, forged documents, and suspicious deaths. Witnesses from India, Canada, and Mexico testified about her manipulations. Rajiv took the stand, describing the emotional and financial wreckage she left behind. The defense painted her as a victim of circumstance, but the evidence was overwhelming. After weeks of deliberation, the jury found Anika guilty on multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy to commit murder. She was sentenced to 45 years in a maximum security prison. For many, justice had finally been served. But just 6 months into her sentence, a riot broke out in the prison. In the chaos, several inmates escaped. Among them, Anika Sharma. Authorities found a guard's uniform hidden in her cell, and surveillance footage showed her calmly walking out front gates. Her whereabouts remain unknown, but reports have surfaced of a mysterious woman in Dubai, charming wealthy businessmen, and leaving without a trace. The world can only wonder, has the Black Widow bride found her next victim? The end, or just beginning? What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.